All right, we are ready to go. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here. We have a very exciting chat about a topic that I think that pe more people should know about. We're talking about Arizona wines today. We have our guest speaker, Zoya, who is from the Wine Collective Scottsdale. And we will be going through all things Arizona wine. And I think that it's very interesting conversation because when people think of Arizona, they typically think of heat and cacti um, without kind of thinking about the full state of Arizona, kind of putting it in a box. But when you consider that Arizona has a lot of different levels and places. A lot of the wine community, well, the wine growing regions areas start at about 33,000 feet and then go up to about, I think like 55, 53, something like that. And so it does have a pretty robust um, wine program there. The revenue is in the billions, which I'm sure we will get to in a little bit. But nonetheless, I wanted to allow Zoya to fully introduce herself because I think that people introduce themselves way better than other people do reading a bio. So, Zoya, I'll let you speak and then we'll kind of get into the conversation.
Hi, my name is Zoya, um, and I own a small place here called the Wine Collective of Scottsdale. So our tagline is representing the unrepresented. Um, I really have been in the wine business for a very long time, talking about yeah, 25 plus years. I've been a wine distributor first, so that I got to really taste a lot of amazing wines, sell it, and also become very technical about it. Because when you're in a wine distribution side, you're selling wines to sommeliers, level two, level three, master sommeliers, WSET. And so you have to sell the wine to them. And to do that, you would have to know so much about the technicality of it. They want to know the bricks, the pH balance, and the barriques versus the barrel versus, a concrete egg. I mean, I can go on an elevation and time, that hang time and whole cluster and things like that. So I got to learn all those things way early. And then also it was a prerequisite for me to finish my CSW. So I am certified spirit and wine instructor, which is a different qualification than a WSET and a sommelier. It's a little higher than that because you are also asked to do business things like profitability, markup margins, things like that. So it's not just talking about wine, but you're also doing the back office kind of things that you are presenting to people. So that was a great way for me to get into the business. And I always wanted to own my own place. And so this is my third project. I've owned a couple of other places as well in the Valley, one in Ahwatukee, one in Gilbert, and now in Scottsdale. I'm also here to have agency. I really want anybody that wants to get into wine industry. They can come here. I will help them. In any ways, if they want to be a winemaker, I will connect you with anybody in the wine industry that can get you in for harvest or whatever it is, right? If you want to be in a wine distribution, I can do that too because I have all the connections. If you want to own a business, I'm here to guide you step by step about all the things you need as a woman, especially. So that's my legacy I want to leave in the wine industry. So obviously I'm connected to Hughes Society. Thank you so much. Because Sunny is the one that approached me and we've been working together quite a bit. And anytime anybody has any questions about wine, I've always asked Sunny to give my cell phone number, my email address. I am here. So yeah, and then Arizona wines. I got into Arizona wines in 2020. And I thought that they've come a long way. And I started tasting different Arizona wines and decided to open this place for lots and lots of Arizona wineries that are fairly small. And so I educate people when people come in out of country, out of the state, about the Arizona wines. So I'm very happy to feature Arizona wine industry today as well. So a little bit, I think it's a lot about me, but just kind of
Oh,
some
that's
theme.
perfect. I think it's just so inspiring already, right? Like everybody's kind of in the comments, like, thank you, because those kind of things, they lift people, right? We kind of lift as we climb, as we say. And so that's really what the foundation of this organization is about. So we are in perfect alignment. But let's talk about Arizona wines. Um, and we can go into, we've already kind of talked about the elevations, very high altitude. They have these diurnal shifts, kind of similar to different pockets of California, which I won't say it's interesting. It's an area, but there are three AVAs in
Correct.
Arizona. And so could you talk about the difference of the AVAs and also the typical grapes that you would find in Arizona? Because I think that that's also really interesting.
Correct. Okay, so the three AVAs, American Viticulture Areas, our first one to grant one was Sonoita, which is about 2.5 hours southeast for us from Scottsdale. Then we also have a another AVA called Wilcox, Arizona, which is not also in southeast, more closer to New Mexico. And then our third AVA is going to be Verde Valley, which is actually quite high in elevation. Believe it or not, 6,300 above sea
Oh,
level,
wow.
which most California cannot say.
Yes, that's
We are actually have higher elevation than a lot of states in the United States, which people are surprised because when they come to Arizona, as you were saying, cacti, you come to Scottsdale, and then everybody's just like, where do you grow your grapes? And we say, we don't grow anything here, silly. This is a valley. Everything else is a high elevation. So I know I've lived in a lot of places, including Georgia. When you go down south, it's never cooler. It's always going to be warmer, right? Because it's just the way the earth is in that part. But here going down south is actually cooler and higher elevation. So to get away, like right now, Phoenix, it would be 10 degrees warmer than Tucson itself, right? And Tucson is down south. And then you take a windy road up to Sonoita. So the variation of temperature could be 10 to 30 degrees difference from Scottsdale, Arizona. So that's the amazing part of Arizona, that all the places that it grows is high elevation, amazing soil type, and then different sources of water as well. So yeah, I'm really excited talking about this region
So
right
you talked about the elevation and so can we get into the soil types a little bit and
now.
the grapes?
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, sorry.
no, it's okay. I'm sure I just want to get everything out. And also you mentioned the water. So I think that that's an important component for winemaking. A lot of people don't know that. Like water is a huge component of that. So those three things, kind of encompass the signature of the land there.
Correct.
So
Yeah, so the soil is interesting, sandy, then it's sandy loam. Then we have limestone and chalk. We also have volcanic soil. So, Arizona just has lots and lots of history. Obviously, a lot of dinosaur bones are found here. So it's rich in minerals. Obviously, the accident with a lot of things happen is that there's a geologist out there for mining reasons in Arizona, and then found out that the soil is so rich to grow things and to grow grapes. Because grapes really like to go deep, right? It doesn't have shallow roots most of the time. So it likes to find an aquifer and all the minerals. And so we have like layers of that. So the sand is because there used to be oceans here, right? So then Sonoita and Wilcox, but they both have rich sandy loam. Also, by Verde Valley. So everything has the sandy loam there. And then we also have a limestone, and then there's a red soil that we get here as well. And chalk and limestone. Those are like layers of it. And then different places might have a different component, as in Chiricahua Mountain, which is close to Wilcox, Arizona, is going to top layer, 1 foot alone is going to be explosion of the volcanic rocks, right? And it's going to have all these amazing ores in it. And then that's the top layer. And then there's sandy and the limestone and clay underneath. So that's kind of the make of the soils here, which is very good. The second thing would be did we talk about a varietal? What varietals work here? The varietals work here are obscure. Number one that comes in my mind is Malvasia bianca. Malvasia bianca is a very aromatic grape that originates in Greece, and it does very well here. So I would say most all wineries here will have their own version of Malvasia bianca. And it's just like Riesling. It's very aromatic, like a Viognier, and it's able to be very dry, or it's able to be very sweet. But one thing in common for Malvasia bianca is it's this beautiful aromatic grape that when you are in the harvest, it smells like nighttime blooming jasmine or orange blossoms. It's absolutely just addictive smell. And then it depends on the winemaking to what they're going to do with it. But that's the thing that stands out. Another grape that does very well here is Grenache. Grenache is so fantastic here because it grows differently in those 3 different AVAs. It's the same grape planted, completely looks different, tastes different. This is the lightest grape we have because we cannot grow a Pinot Noir here. Pinot Noir will not be happy here. So Grenache will be our lightest one. We also do a lot of Rhone region varietals here as well, because we have that parallel climate for that. So yeah, and water. The water sourcing for Verde Valley, which is the highest one close to Sedona, is going to be natural snowfall that we get from Flagstaff. And there's a creek that goes through it, and it's rich in that kind of water. Versus Wilcox, we have to get the waters from the Delta, Colorado Delta, and it's going in through the aquifer, and then that's where they have wells there, and that's where the water is coming from. And Sonoita just gets natural water each year, and that's the 3 different ways that there's water sourcing for those 3 different AVAs.
That's so interesting, like having those, and then for them to be kind of so close together in proximity in one way or another. The AVAs is that's really interesting. And then as far as the varietals, I know you mentioned the Malvasia Bianca. Do you have any other white varietals? Because from what I understand, you have the GSM blends, from
Yes.
the Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, and then I also heard Tanat was a big grape.
Yeah, so yes. So I'm going to so a lot of Spanish varietals. So Graciano does very well, Tanat, Petit Verdot, Petit Syrah. It seems like when the grapes with thicker skin do really well here, because we do have the heat element. So it doesn't get too hot, but the sun is very, pretty powerful here. So it does do really well. A lot of Spanish varietals do very well. Tempranillos, Tanat, Sangiovese loves Arizona. Riesling. Riesling just grows just very well. So lots and lots of varietals that are in the Mediterranean area of Europe does very well here because it's used to having the heat that we have here. And it also, the skin is thicker. So the frost, because we do get frost in all the regions that we just talked about. So it does have the seasonality where it gets hot, but then also it freezes in the winter. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I just wanted to get the varietals out so people, kind of know what to expect when they go there. Because even with other, not for nothing, historically, Arizona is actually older than California as far as like wine industry goes. You guys were planting before California, but socially and today, a lot of people are kind of just discovering Arizona wines like outside of the region. And so I like to always just give a some kind of familiar ooh, well, what's happening? Some kind of something people are familiar with in comparison, like what's happening there and what people generally know and different grapes that they can look forward to. Um, but let's talk about finances because I found it really fascinating that Arizona from in the last year, the wine industry has brought in maybe about $5 billion, it was reported. What exactly is it a lot of tourism happening or like has this tourism skyrocketed or like what is contributing to that number?
So couple of things. A, our wine is just getting better and better, right? So we can compare it to other things. I've had several people since I've been open, like take wines to their country or their state, and they wanted to do blind tasting with their friends because everybody's like, oh, Napa is the best or Sonoma. We all have this preconceived notion about what's the best wine for us. But we are able to compete now. And then we just, so back in the days, let's say in the 70s, we only did sweet wines. And we have kind of fast forward now and we make these amazing wines that can be comparable to a lot of amazing wines from other states as well. And then, yes, tourism is probably also a biggest thing. I would say I get so many people coming to my place because seeking it out. They're from somewhere else and they go, oh, we heard Arizona makes wine. Really? Prove us whatever. And so we have 40 different wines that we have open by the glass and we do a flight and they are very impressed. So what I'm saying is that our quality has gotten better. A representative, yes. So I think that's what is booming. We're in that growing curve right now. And every few months we have to count how many more wineries are there. So last week it has been 152 wineries and
Wow,
counting. So yes.
that's amazing. Is that including virtual that there's like a virtual collective or something like that that's happening there?
So these are 152 wineries. Now, winery is different than vineyards. Winery is where you can make the wine, and then vineyard is where you grow the grapes. So I don't think that we have grown in vineyards, but we've grown in a lot of wineries, where they have tasting rooms. So there is only a couple of them that you're referring to. Are you talking about sharing spaces where there's custom crush facilities for wineries? Is that what you're
Stuff
referring
like that.
to?
It's just like, yeah, like along the lines of that. Because, yeah, obviously, as you said, wineries and vineyards are very different.
Yeah.
And, they function in very different ways. And I think people confuse that a little bit. How many vineyards are there, though?
The vineyards probably I would say 30 to 40, because the people who are owning the vineyards, they have a lot of good acreage. And so they're able to sell their crop, their grapes to the wineries, right? So for example, I have this wine called the Boss, and she actually has a vineyard and a winery. But when I look at the technical sheets for this, it's actually sourced by Chareto Vineyard. And the Chareto Vineyard actually has a lot of acreage and they grow lots and lots of varietal. And so less vineyards but then they sell their stuff to all these wineries. So yeah.
That's really cool. So can we go through the rest of your wines? I know you have some wines that you have.
Yes. Okay, so the wines that I really wanted to kind of represent would be three different AVAs. So the first wine that I have, it's called Page Springs, and it is a white wine, one of my favorites. It's called Barrio Blanca, and it's also a kitchen sink wine. Some of you might not know, this is a reference to in our industry, we say when we talk to the winemaker and we're like, what's in this? And they start saying like so many grapes in it. And so then the joke is, so if the kitchen sink wasn't attached, would you have put in this wine? And the answer is yes. So I call this a kitchen sink wine. It has tons of varietals in it, but it equals into this beautiful balanced acid, minerality, just beautiful reflection of Verde Valley. You know, the AVA. So I love that. It's by the glass here. And that's the first wine that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to read a couple of the varietals. I'm not going to do all of them.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it a
Yeah.
field blend? Is
Pardon?
it a field blend?
Yeah, it's not a field blend, so it's still going to be in different barrels. So they didn't just take, so field blend is a little different than what they're doing. So this particular winery has been around since they planted their first crop in 2004, and it's right by the Oak Creek. It's a beautiful place. And so I mean, it has like a lot of stuff, Grenache Blanc, Semillon, there is like tons of things here in there. And then it has Roussan, Viognier, and
Oh,
every year they change. I know
that
every
sounds so
year
good.
they change the varietals in it. However, it's still, you can rely on the minerality and the acidity of it. And that's what I love about this particular wine. So yeah, that's what I have from Page Springs. If you Wikipedia Arizona wine industry, Page Springs will be in it. They're a few of the pioneers that really decided to take a chance and say, you know, let's plant these things and see what happens. And they were one of the first doing this. It's
Oh,
absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
that sounds so like round and robust and just like, yeah, I
It's
can feel
a
smell it from here.
Yes, I'm like thirsty. That is totally my type of way.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of what I am like excited about. I'm always excited about this wine, actually. Great people, and I always supported them. Absolutely. So yeah, and they're very sustainable, this vineyard.
Mm.
It's a vineyard and a winery. Because they're right close to the Oak Creek, everything is solar generated, everything is composted, everything is recycled. Their whole idea is to use nothing, basically. It's like uh, positive kind of, you know, not only use nothing, but use the solar energy to give out electric grids and things like that. It's a zero gravitational vineyard. They do all of the things to preserve the area because they feel like it's their job to preserve that whole area and not just use it for growing grapes, but also give it back.
Yeah, that's great. Those are the kind of wineries and brands you like put your full force behind. You want to make sure
Yeah.
that they do well. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's my first wine. I also have another wine that is from Sonoita. And so that's the other AVA that we talked about. Also, a big supporter of she's a woman winemaker. I know we need some of you, if you guys want to make wine, please do it. We need you. We need representation, guys. We have a great taste. We are blessed with better taste buds and nose and everything. And making wine is a natural thing for us. Trust me, I've tasted a lot of women winemakers wine, and they are just absolutely amazing. We are very good at this. Let's do this. Anybody wants to do it, call me, I'll help you. So this is called the Boss. It is, as we talked about, some of the Mediterranean Spanish varietals. This is a grape called Graciano. And a Graciano is a grape that originates in Spain, does very well here, especially in Sonoita. I've never had Graciano before, and I've been doing this for 20 plus years. This was the first Graciano I ever had. And this is Vino Stash, and she has a vineyard in Sonoita and a winery there. And she gets, so this is 80% is destemmed grape and 20% is whole cluster. And that makes a huge difference in making wine. The whole cluster is going to give that more youthfulness to it and also more tannins in the back end. If you are not, you can't afford to have like a French oak barrel or American or whatever. It's a great way of making wine. So yeah, that's my second wine that I love. If you like, I can post it what I've had later on. And then the third wine that I am really excited about is from Wilcox, Arizona, another AVA. This one is called Omphalos, and it's 100% Mourvedre. So Mourvedre is a GSM. So anytime we drink GSM, it's Grenache Syrah Mourvedre most of the time. And it originates in the Rhone region of France, but we do very well here. The Mourvedre is does very well here single varietal. So it doesn't need to be blended. It just does very, it has these Christmas baking spices, little sweetness twist. So this particular winery is called Omphalos, and they make their wines in Sonoita, but the grapes are sourced from Wilcox. So I felt like I wanted to feature all these three so we can talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. That's a great game plan. And I want to make sure that I open it up for people. I know that people have lots of questions and also give you a chance to kind of look through the comments. I know you're not looking at the
Oh yeah.
chat, but there's some pretty cool comments. In the meantime, does anybody have any questions or comments that you would like to ask? Feel free to take yourself off of mute.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know. Can you hear me? Yes. Hi, Zoya. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been very enlightening. And I just want to know, what if you've talked about people who want to get into the industry by making wine, but what about those who want to have conversations about wine and they want to team with wineries? What are you looking for when someone approaches you to have that conversation? What are you looking for that person to have to take them seriously? If they, me, for instance, I have a podcast, so I talk about wine on my podcast. So what should I be prepared to bring to the conversation when talking with people who make wine or who have wineries such as yourself?
So like to be part of the industry, is that the question?
Or just if you would like to feature the wines in any collaborations or things of that nature that you're doing.
So for me, having the technical understanding of winemaking is kind of how I would ask questions. So if you, so still I'm not clear exactly what the question is. So yeah, if you can elaborate.
Okay, so for instance, if I wanted to feature one of your wines in my podcast and I wanted to start a partnership or a collaboration with your winery, what would you be looking to hear from me to make you excited about collaborating with me?
Oh yeah. So collaborating in like selling the wine or tasting the wine, like in what way would the collaboration be?
With me featuring your wine and definitely pushing it out to my listeners to drive sales towards your business.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So we would just, work together and see how I can be used to you. Because if you have a wine podcast, and if you're looking for any technical questions to ask somebody or anything I can provide to you, I would. And then, of course, in return, as you were just saying, to promote my business. And it would be just a collaboration in that sort, because my knowledge maybe would be valuable for you. And then for me, having my business out and be promoted, that's kind of how I would say our partnership would work.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Feel free to come off mute.
Has anybody tasted Arizona wines other than Sunny?
Yes,
Oh,
I have
Elizabeth.
actually.
Oh, great.
I visited a winery. Well, no, I was a wine bar in Phoenix, and they featured wines from different wineries in Arizona, and the wine was absolutely delicious. I cannot recall the name of the wine bar. It was downtown.
Oh, I think
But
I know exactly who you're talking about. It's called Genuine.
yes, genuine.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we're a small
Absolutely
community.
amazing. Yes, they
We all support each
absolutely.
other, and yes, and not too many places carry Arizona wine, so that's also I know.
Yes, and I'm actually holding on to the bottle I purchased because it was so good, and I'm afraid of running out because I'm in Miami. So I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be able to find this again when I go to look for it? Because it was really good. I think it's Kenwood's vineyard, Los
Yes,
Milks. Yes,
Los Milix is one of my favorite vineyards, winery, and the owner. Yes, cool. I'm
yes,
glad you like it. Exciting.
amazing.
Yes.
Please take a picture of that bottle and put it in the chat. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I just wanted to make sure that you provided your information. I'm sorry, I'm driving, so I can't be on camera right now. But at the beginning of the call, when you were just speaking of, mentorship, whether it be in grape growing or fermenting, or just getting familiar more so with the industry in the Arizona area. And I just thank you so much about even just sharing the not only just the climate, but also the different soil varieties out there. So thank you, Tara, for having her elaborate on that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely, wouldn't mind taking a trip out there and kind of spending a week with you and shadowing you based upon that invitation.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to contact me. I think Sunny might be your person. I'm not sure. But yeah, feel free to contact me. We do have the seasonality of things. So right now we're in our season, and then it really slows down and it gets warm starting like end of June, and then it just slows down until like September. So I have lots of extra time to do that. And when it's busy, it's hard for me to do that because I really love working when it is busy. Because people are like, why don't you just get the staff? And I go, well, but I won't get the excitement. I want the excitement. So I like to work when it's busy. But yeah, please feel free to contact me. And the best time to contact would be before the next harvest. I just want to give everybody heads up. Our harvest is at different time in Arizona than it is rest of United States. So ours starts in July. Where are you calling? Like where do you live?
I'm actually in Michigan. And ironically, for the past year, I've been wanting to go to Traverse City and participate in some harvesting. But ultimately, I don't mind getting my hands dirty even with that and taking a week off of corporate America and doing that throughout the summer. So when I contact you, whatever time period throughout the year that works for you would be great.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Traverse City, where is that? What state is that? Sorry.
It's also in Michigan, but it's in northern Michigan. So I live in Detroit, but Traverse City,
Okay.
there's a lot of vineyards up there, wineries as well as breweries. However, it's about 4 hours out from Detroit. So it just takes a little bit more planning than I've been able to execute to get up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I would definitely say, please look at their harvest. There is like harvest seasonality of things that people don't realize. I'm still going to help one of somebody in the Hughes Society, I believe, that wants to make some wine, and I want to help them with sourcing the grapes. That way they can get like a really good sourcing from the vineyard. But yeah, so I would love to help in any way, guys. Let me know how I can.
I am going to, as always, we're going to send out all the information. We'll send out the wines that she presented today. We'll send out all of her contact information and information for her business as well to make it easy for everybody to connect. Um, Talika, I'm not sure if you're reading because I know you said you're driving, but Chuck is actually on here and he is who I was going to connect you with. So I'm happy that he's here. Hopefully you guys will get a chance to connect before this call, but if not, I'll still connect you later, just an FYI. Anybody else with questions, comments?
I have a question. My name is Bianca. I'm also not on camera, but with regard to just like the outlook on distribution, what steps are you guys taking to expand, outside of the state, outside of the region, basically make it more accessible in other places?
You mean Arizona wines?
Yes.
So that's a hard one, and this has to do with money, right? So you will notice any states you are in, there are breweries and there might be wineries and vineyards. So it's easier and cheaper to first grow grapes, make wine, and sell it to the state you're in because the taxation is different. And then in order for you to start exporting your wine outside the state or beer, it's a completely different animal, right? Starting from the permits to the licensing and the fees and all the other things you have to do to adhere to the other states. That's like you're going from, let's say, $100,000 to maybe like $1 million, where it's and then also it has to do with production. So if I'm making, let's say, 200 cases a year, and I'm selling out mostly, I don't have any motivation to open it to exports to other states because I'm not even making enough wine to suffice the production or the demand here. Now, if I decided that I'm going to bump up my production from 200 cases to, let's say, 500 cases. Now, okay, then I'm going to try to see if I can sell it to New Mexico or Texas or whatever. But that's kind of why the accessibility is very limited right now from Arizona wines to other states, because there's just not enough production wine made. There's only few wineries and vineyards I can think of that are like go beyond that. And there is a couple of them, I would say, Merkin does sell to different states because he's the lead singer. No, not lead singer, but he's part of the Tool band. So that happens, but most of us don't have enough wine to start selling to other states.
Understood. So we just need to all come to Arizona. Got
Do
it.
they do direct to consumer or like can you
They
purchase?
do. It depends
Okay.
on the state you are in. So
Oh,
some of the
I can't
states
get it
are
here. I just
very
remember. Ugh, they don't sell.
uh
Michigan doesn't allow
uh
wine to be shipped here. Ugh.
none.
Okay. No.
Oh, then you know what you could do? You can just bring a suitcase.
Oh yeah, that's what I totally do that. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, I usually say to people, you can just check in wine, it's just 35 whatever dollars. So just
Right.
bring we actually have boxes that we can put in stuff and so it
Yes.
doesn't break, and then here we go.
There you
So,
go.
It
yeah.
sounds like
Also, there's the wine shop that's near Eastern Market. She can use her distributor to get any bottles for us as well.
Oh,
So you can
nice.
also, yeah, and you can just have it shipped to them and then pick it up from them as well. So just putting
Oh,
that out
cool.
there.
Good to know. Okay.
it sounds like Sunny and I are going to be planning a huge trip to Arizona, not just for me, but we're going to put this out. We'll put this together.
Yeah, I would love to host you guys, take you to Sunny and I have been talking about it, and I think we're going to do it this year. We're going to plan a trip with the Hue Society here, and we're gonna do a trip to Sonoita first, and then see how it goes. We're gonna make it very small and intimate, but I wanted to take them to different vineyards that I have a relationship with, and really go through all the things, and make connections, right? So then you are connected, and if you need some grapes, here you go, or whatever have you. So I think Sunny and I are planning on doing it in probably spring. So yeah.
Love it. I stayed at
Yeah.
the Fairmont when I came there, and it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. They actually had a food and wine festival while I was there. So I know I had Arizona wines, but this was like 10 years ago or something. So I don't
Yeah,
remember
things
what I
have
had.
improved quite a bit, I would say, in
Yeah.
the last 10 years. Amazing players come in, and amazing winemakers and vineyards and wineries. So things are just looking better and better
That's
every single
awesome.
time. Yeah.
It's my second favorite state. So I've been there a few times through
That's
Arizona.
great. It's beautiful weather. I mean, it's 75 today. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's freezing here. Anybody
I
else?
know I'm in
Question?
Detroit. Like it feels like 8.
Detroit. Oh,
Come get me. Come save me.
how y'all doing? See, you turn
The
out with
snow
me.
won't.
Well, we're about to open soon for business. I just want to give you guys heads up. We have a busy day today.
Any last questions or comments for Zoya before we let her go? Okay, well, this has been wonderful.
Yes.
I feel
Thank you
like,
so much, Zoya.
And happy MLK Day on Monday, guys.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody for coming with your presence and your joy and enthusiasm, and can't wait for the next event. There is a reset event. It's not wine related, but it is more about your inner self body that I'm leading. I think on the 21st or 20th. So you're all welcome. You should all be there because that's how we fighting back with our nervous system, right? A calm nervous system leads to, a healthy body. So, but thank you again, Zoya, for coming. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to meet you. Hopefully, in a few months, we're going to put this
Yay.
together.
Exciting. Well, we should plan, Sunny and I will plan a trip then. Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great
Bye.
day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.